Okay, welcome everyone. I think I've got a signal that our live stream is happening. So welcome everyone to this special meeting of the Strathbogie Shire Council held on Tuesday the 4th of August 2020. And it's not at the Euroa Community Conference Centre, it's within the Strathbogie Shire though, commencing at 5 p.m. So until further notice, all meetings conducted by the Strathbogie Shire Council will be held virtually using Zoom and live streamed on our website at www.strathbogie.vic.gov.au. This ensures that we are meeting the Victorian Government's social distancing requirements to slow the spread of coronavirus COVID-19 and help keep our communities safe. We encourage all community members to watch the meeting online, given that we have had to close our public gallery until further notice, following legal advice around how we can comply with the COVID-19 social distancing rules. Today, you may notice our meeting is slightly different to those that you've watched in the past. Today, all our councillors are working from home, as are our council officers, or they are in a closed office space. This is so that we can participate without having to wear a mask. We understand wearing a mask may create accessibility concerns for some members of our community, and we hope by participating in today's meeting remotely, we can overcome this. I wanted to take the opportunity to outline that voting at today's meeting will be held by a show of hands, and all councillors will raise their hands to vote for any motion, making sure their raised hand is visible on the screen. As the Mayor, I will then state the name of each councillor with their hands raised both for and against motions. If a councillor has a conflict of interest in a matter, then they will be asked to leave the meeting and no discussion on the matter will commence until we are absolutely sure they have done so. I will announce when the councillor has rejoined the meeting after the matter has been considered and the vote concluded. If we have any technical difficulties during today's meeting, which means we are unable to broadcast to the public, we will adjourn the meeting for 15 minutes. If the issue is not resolved after this time, but we maintain a quorum of councillors under our local law, we will continue the meeting. If we cannot maintain a quorum, I will have to close the meeting and will call another council meeting to consider the unfinished business on the agenda. Thank you for joining us today. So today, I also wanted to take this opportunity again to acknowledge our community for how our community is reacting to the coronavirus pandemic. As you know, we have so far been very lucky in Strathbogie Shire, and our area does not currently have any active cases. However, this does not mean that we can become complacent. From 11:59 p.m. tomorrow, we will see the return of stage 3 stay-at-home restrictions. I urge everyone in our community to stay vigilant and to abide by the restrictions and continue to keep us all safe. Stage 3 restrictions mean that parents will be returning to homeschooling. We all know how difficult this will be for those juggling homeschooling with work commitments. So please take the time to check in on parents, your friends, your neighbours, who are going to find the next 6 weeks of stage 3 restrictions tough. And it's not just the parents. There are many people throughout our community who are finding these ongoing restrictions hard. Remember to phone your family and friends and neighbours and make sure they're okay and stay connected. Isolation, loneliness will continue to affect us all, and we need to look out for each other. We need to do this to get through this together. In coming weeks, Council will be announcing some projects that we've been working on to help those in our community who are experiencing these feelings. Through the Victorian Government's Working for Victoria program, we now have more than 30 people in employment whose employment was impacted by the coronavirus pandemic, putting their skills to use in our Shire. These 6-month positions are providing us with the people power to support our COVID-19 Recover program, which we are calling RE3, the program that will help reset, reboot, and revitalise our community. You may have noticed team members out in our parks and gardens, along the roadsides, cleaning up and preparing us for the upcoming fire and flood seasons. What you haven't seen yet is the work that our community engagement team is doing behind the scenes on projects that will tackle the isolation and loneliness in our community. Council is now developing a series of initiatives to drive community connection, and we will hear from the youngest in our community through an innovative storytelling project. We will see what locals have been doing during these uncertain times through a series of video profiles, and we will encourage our community to use the power of the written word to stay connected with loved ones through a postcard initiative. All of this is wrapped up in a story that we're calling the Strathbogie story. So I urge you, please stay tuned. We will keep you in the loop and we will get through this together. Stay safe and in touch with your loved ones. So now we'll move into the agenda, and on page 1 of our agenda, we have the welcome. We now move into our acknowledgement of traditional owners. So I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we're all meeting today, and I pay my respects to their elders, past and present. Item 3 on our agenda is apologies, and I note that we have apologies from Phil Howard and Dawn Bray today. Councillors, item 4 is disclosures of interests. Does anybody have any disclosures of interest they wish to make? Okay, item 5 is petitions. We have no petitions today. So item 6 is the report of council officers. So moving on to our agenda, page 1, item 6.7.1 is the Community Local Law number 2, 2020. And I'd like to just call on our team leader for compliance, Cameron Fraser, just to give us a bit of background to this item, please. Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The purpose of this report is to note the draft Community Local Law number 2 of 2020 and place it on public exhibition for a period of 28 days. The proposed local law provides for administration, management and protection of amenity and safety throughout the Shire. Upon adoption of the new local law, the current local law, the Strathbogie Shire Council Community Local Law number 6 of 2010, would be repealed. Officers have reviewed the local law along with other consultation done by council, our complaints and inquiries that we've received, permits that we've issued, as well as reviewing some of the similar community local laws for our neighbouring shires to ensure a level of consistency across municipal boundaries. The draft local law has also been reviewed by the Local Law Project Group, which was made up of 2 councillors, 3 officers, 2 community representatives, and endorsed by council at their ordinary meeting in July. The proposed changes to the community local law include new provisions intended to improve regulation around uses or activities which may impact on amenity of surrounding landowners, occupants, or our wider community. We've consolidated and deleted a number of the existing clauses in the current local law. We've updated the layout of the local law as well to reflect where activity occurs and in some instances where it's a specific issue, particularly around animals and infrastructure. Permit considerations have been included for all permit required activities. This is intended to provide a level of transparency to our applicants and the wider community around the decision-making process for the compliance team. The proposed draft local law is required to be placed on public exhibition for a minimum of 28 days. During that period, the community are invited to make submissions in relation to that document. At the completion of the exhibition period, all submitters will be invited to a meeting in which they or someone on their behalf can speak to the submission. Submissions received will be reviewed with feedback provided into the final version of the local law, which will be put up to council for adoption. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Cameron. So, councillors, on page 2 of our agenda, we have a recommendation before us that the council, 1, note the draft local law number 2, Community Local Law 2020, and in accordance with sections 119 and 223 of the Local Government Act 1989, place it on public exhibition for community review and comment for a period of 28 days, beginning on the 6th of August 2020 and ending at 5 p.m. on the 3rd of September 2020. Advertised through the following means: a notice in the Government Gazette, posts on council's social media pages, and notices in local papers. Number 2 of that recommendation is to hold a special council meeting on Tuesday the 8th of September 2020 at 5 p.m. in the conference room at Bury Street, Euroa, to consider all written submissions and hear any verbal submissions. Number 3 of that recommendation is to note that should no written submissions be received during the public consultation period, the special council meeting will not be held. And number 4, the item says, hold a council meeting at 5 p.m. on Tuesday the 15th of September 2020 in the conference room, Bury Street, Euroa, to consider the adoption of the local law. Now, councillors, do I have someone prepared to move that item? And I might just seek clarity from the CEO at this point. Should item 2, given that we're in lockdown, be amended, Madam CEO? Thank you. All right, councillors, do I have somebody prepared? Julie, you happy to speak to that? Okay. Councillors, do I have somebody prepared?
Sorry. Through you, Mayor, we probably do need to amend the 2 and 3 because of the issue of COVID-19 restrictions and now moving to virtually, so you're quite correct.
Thank you. Okay, councillors, do I have somebody prepared to move the recommendation amending item 2 and item 4 where we're referring to meeting in the conference room, please?
I'm happy to move, Madam Mayor.
John Mason. Thank you, Councillor Mason. Do I have a seconder, please? Thanks, Councillor Thompson. Councillor Mason, wish to speak to this item? Sorry, Councillor Mason, could you just actually, we need to amend the item 2 and 4 to reflect the current situation within the COVID.
I'm happy to amend 2 and 4, Madam Mayor.
To an online meeting?
Yes.
Through the CEO, I just want to clarify that before we move forward.
Through you, Madam Mayor, that is correct. We need to amend 2 and 4 to have them just to reflect that we hold a special council meeting on Tuesday 8th of September and Tuesday 15th December if required at 5 p.m, but these will be online virtual meetings.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Councillor Mason. You wish to speak to this item?
We need a seconder, or if we've got.
No, Alistair. Sorry, Councillor Thompson did second that item. Councillor Thompson, are you happy with that amendment? Yep. Thank you. Okay, Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
If you wish to speak to that one.
Yes, this is a document that all members of the community should read, and it for the users the public land, public places, council buildings, etc., through the Shire. I've just lost my page, so I found it. So all users and activities, and it was a real honour to go through this and read it thoroughly. And there's quite a few items that are really of critical importance to us. I'm going to read a few, just to bring a few of them up that people, so they know what we're actually talking about. The events, festivals and processions, activities within council nature strips. We've had a few complaints about that recently. And raising livestock, you know, for the farming community up there, there's quite a bit there. Remotely controlled aircraft and drones. So we're coming into the current times, and it just goes on. There's events on private properties. You have a rave party or something like that that goes on for the whole weekend, and no one wants to be a next door neighbour to that. Using scare guns, dangerous and unsightly land. And one that really jumped out at me was disused compartments. An owner or occupier of land must not place or leave or allow to remain on that land a disused refrigerator, ice chest, ice box, trunk, chest, or other similar article which could facilitate entrapment. Now, I'm going back a long time. I remember children playing hide and seek, hiding in a disused fridge and being trapped in there and suffocating. And people need to be aware of these things, that it is actually illegal to have these on your property, that just through ignorance that a child could become entrapped. And a fine for that is 5 penalty units, which is $826. So it's very serious. And it goes on. There's just so many different items in there, and I would really like the community to have a look at this and to make comment on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mason. Councillor Thompson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think Councillor Mason has covered it.
Lovely. Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Any other councillors wish to speak for or against this item? No? In that case, councillors, we have a recommendation that has been put before us, so I'm going to put that to the vote. All those in favour? Thank you. So Councillor McLaren, Councillor Rayburn, Councillor Gardner, Councillor Thompson, Councillor Mason, Councillor Little, Councillor Williams. That is carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. So, councillors, moving on in our agenda, item 7, there is no need to close the meeting to the public, and there's no need to confirm closed portion decisions. So there being no further business tonight, I'm going to close the meeting at 5:19 p.m. I'd like to thank you all for our first online meeting in this Zoom environment, and I'd like to thank all the community who have followed on tonight, and stay safe and stay well. Thanks, councillors.